Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialists plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And now, it's show time!
Your attention, please. One show for you to see. One for you and everyone.
Oh, look at all the people. Pay attention, it's showtime.
I am always ready, as you say, to put on the show.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait! We forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Aloha. Come to the Tiki Room. Get your expialidocious tickets right here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. This is episode 307 for the week of October 24th, 2019. And if you didn't know already, the Brutica band is gone.
What?
Say Brutica did not work.
I did not hear about this. Where was I?
Yeah, they're gone, man.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Did you hear who they're replacing them with? All Kilter's back.
They are not. It's those log rollers, right?
The axe throwers that were there for, 2 weeks?
Everybody loved the log rollers.
They were awesome. Everything is awesome.
We're starting off already singing.
Yes, we could do that all day long, like I told you.
All day long, all day.
It's all night.
It's all night.
What? No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just changed it.
Do you have the rights to do that?
Sure.
Now we're going to get sued, Keith. Thanks.
You gotta fight for your right to party. You got, baby. I'm smooth operator.
Okay, so if anybody is still out there,
Nope.
Hi.
Hello.
And thank you.
Hello and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. I am your chief podcast host, Sean. And on my right, my little buddy,
CH.
Matt. And on my other right, my other little buddy, Keith.
Hey now.
Hey now, don't dream it's
Keith,
over.
stop feeding them stuff.
I can't help it. He finds a song for everything.
And not everything.
Okay. Herpes. Go. Find a song for herpes. Come on.
Herpes is a fun thing to have.
Every parent out there is going, thanks, guys.
Yeah. He's a good little Muppet, Herpes. Or is that Hermes?
Well, there's Hades, but that's from Hercules.
Oh, yeah, see? Staying on the H's. Did you guys see that they're redoing Emmett Otter's Doug Band Christmas?
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah. That's not owned by Disney, though, right?
It's Jim Henson.
No.
It's just Jim Henson.
It's not. Who
let the dogs out? Who?
Who was actually doing that?
I don't remember.
Jim Henson did the original.
Right.
I would think it would be someone who, like his family or something, maybe?
It's Brett McKenzie.
Oh, yeah, Brett. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember. No,
Yeah, I don't know him either, but that's who's doing it, though.
Good for you.
There you go.
Is it going to be puppets again, or?
I think so. I think that's what they were doing.
Assuming so, yeah.
I didn't know if they would try and animate it or something, or actually have real live otters do it.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Crazy.
See someone's face get chewed off by an otter. That'd be awesome.
You're awful.
Nothing says Christmas like having your face chewed off by an otter playing a jug.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, this episode is going nowhere real fast. This is typical. This is like we have baseball meetings. I'm on the board for baseball, and you go off on tangents. All of a sudden, you're on baseball, and now you're talking about dirt, grass, and then you're talking about lights, and then all of a sudden, like you're talking about like popsicle sticks, like
baseball. Very very good to me.
Jeez.
Everybody's out there going, please go to the news. Please
Yes.
go to the news.
I know that he is here. Steve's in the building. Steve is in the building. Steve, take it away.
Hi, Steve from Disney Diary here. This is What's News. Disney says braised shock roast, and then says beef pot roast. Disney says smoked Kadoo ribs, then says smoked pork ribs. Shock roast, pot roast, Kadoo ribs, pork ribs, then they call the whole thing off. Disney World has had a little menu mania at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, first changing the original Star Wars theming of menu names to more standard versions, maybe because guests were a little confused, don't know why since the names were next to each other, but then after some backlash they switched back to the original theme names. Just another week on Batuu. Star Tours. The Adventures Continue will be getting a new sequence starting December 20th, when Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker hits the theaters. The attraction has been consistently updated, with locations and characters as new movies have been released. The ride has taken us to Jakku, Crate, and even introduced us to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge by landing in Batuu. The latest sequence will feature the ocean moon of Kef Bir, which you can see in the latest movie trailer. The change will be added to Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, and Tokyo Disney. Filming for the annual ABC and Disney Channel holiday specials will take place November 7th through 10th at the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. No specific locations have been announced, but it's a good bet that the stage in front of the Cinderella Castle will be used. For those visiting parks during these days, you should be able to stop and view the taping from a distance. The audience areas are limited to cast members and their guests. No dates have yet been announced of when the holiday shows will be airing, nor has there been any announcements on who will be performing. Circle of Flavors, Harambe at Night, a progressive dinner, is returning to Animal Kingdom on Wednesday night starting December 4th. For those who want a little Disney closer to home, you soon will be able to start purchasing tickets for Disney on Ice, the 2020 schedule of shows. The company has released its touring schedule for the upcoming year through mid-May, and most of the tickets go on sale starting next week. The famous Disney look at Disney World is changing just a bit. Starting October 28th, cast members will be able to wear a single bracelet and a single necklace, including a pendant, a 1 inch or less in size. Cast members will be able to grow facial hair to 1 inch and have a visible stubble while it's growing. Previously, when it was introduced in 2012, any beard growth would have had to be done during vacation time to avoid the stubble look and was limited to a 1/4 inch. Finally, we want to leave you with our last listen at Halloween at Disney World with our favorite witches.
Ladies, I can deliver.
And what makes you think we need your help, Shadow Man? What's that? What is the first ingredient, Sarah? Sinister Shadow.
Please visit us at DisneyDiary.com for the latest news. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Disney Diary. Now, back to the Tiki Hut.
All right, we're back from break this week, and I want to give an apology to Steve for having to deal with the opening of this episode. That went nowhere.
Because there are 0 listeners left for his newscast.
Right. Sorry, Steve. But
We scared them all away.
yeah, to make up for it, everybody please go to DisneyDiary.com to find out what's happening in Disney World and beyond. To Disney and beyond. They are adding, I think, the train's still going to be down for another year, I'm hearing.
Yes, I did. I saw that too.
Yeah. Okay. So, to get this show rolling, we are going to... Keith and I were recently in Walt Disney World. Coincidence? I think so.
Yes, it was.
We didn't. So the whole idea was Matt was going to come along as well. It just didn't work out, and I only hung out with Keith for like 2-3 hours during our my 51-hour excursion to Walt Disney World. And I will give you the my brief synopsis. We're going to really going to focus on Star Wars Land, and we're going to talk about the Skyliner. But this is really what we're going to talk about. But the one thing I do want to talk about was that it was a father-son trip. Maybe talk about that another time. But I did stay at Kidani and Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom.
Ooh la la!
At Kidani, we had Safari View, which I didn't see a single animal.
Really?
Not a single animal when we got up. Yeah, not a single one. So I was a little disappointed.
It's those cutbacks. Entertainment cutbacks.
I was disappointed that we didn't see anything. Like, Connor was like really excited. Like, he took pictures. He wanted to show his friends at school that he had animals on the balcony. Nothing. And this was probably, we woke up, I guess, about 8:15 maybe, and we were outside then. So he was disappointed with that. Jumbo House, I really enjoyed Jumbo House. The lobby there is incredible. Kidani I'm not a huge fan of, but Jumbo House was really nice. Lobby's incredible. The smells coming from the resort, Connor said, were great, because at the time I couldn't smell anything, but he said they were great. The pool there is really nice. It's huge. Mara is got it's a nice quick service. It has some good choices there. I did get to try the zebra domes, and I really enjoyed that, even though my smell and taste weren't back 100%, but they were incredible. It's the first time I ever had them. And I would definitely stay at Jumbo House again. I really enjoyed staying there. I liked the resort overall, the grounds. We did see animals there. Connor loved doing that. He saw tons of giraffes and other things that walk around and stuff.
Wow, that's descriptive.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, we went into the pool, and we had our refillable mugs, and when Connor and I went,
drinking pool water.
No. I had cola or iced tea or something. And we come back, and my cup was. I wish I took a picture. It was covered in love bugs, like literally. The whole top was all love bugs. I was like, oh my god! And Connor was like, Daddy, look at my cup! Oh my god, Dad! Same thing on his.
Those things are the worst.
Oh my gosh!
It was our first experience with love bugs. As we get the midges here. In Cleveland, but man, like, we took and walked out to the resort as we were waiting at the bus stop. Like, first thing, it's when we got there, and man, we were just completely swarmed because we didn't have any clue what was going on.
Yeah, and they just come out of nowhere, and then they have the indecency to make sweet love on you. Like,
yes,
I know, right? Like, get a room.
We found our room, a bunch of them.
You were telling me about that.
Oh my god!
You had to stuff things under the door, right?
We had to like debug our room.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
It was awful, but anyhow.
Yeah. So anybody who's thought about Animal Kingdom, I would definitely head more towards Jumbo. I think Jumbo's definitely the better choice. The gift shop is great. It's huge as well. The Mara quick service is very good. It's a decent size. There's a lot more to do there than Kidani. I mean, Kidani's definitely got the the vacation club vibe. I just don't like that resort. You can, if you like it, hey, that's great. It's not for me, but the Jumbo House, man, it's top notch.
How far down the wing was your room?
At Kidani?
Yeah.
Kidani, we were a 3-minute walk to the lobby.
Yeah, because I remember when I stayed there, it was, I think it was a good 1.5 miles that I walked, but before I realized I was almost lost, and then there's my room. Right.
Yeah. It's I lucked out when we were staying there. Jumbo, I had a little bit more of a walk, but it wasn't bad. Maybe it was a 6-minute walk to the lobby. So I mean, actually, Kidani, I would say it was probably a 2-minute walk. I was that close.
Okay, you lucked out.
Yeah, which was good. I was only there for the one night. Literally, we were in the room for like 6 hours because we didn't get to. We got to Magical Express. And I was like 1:45 1 in the morning, and we finally got to our resort like 2:15, 2 o'clock, something like that. And Connor was asleep by 2:30, and I was up until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So.
You were trying to spot animals, weren't you?
Not at that time. But so let's get on with it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about... this is my second time seeing Star Wars Land. Keith's first time. Matt's 0 time. And Matt's impression of Star Wars Land was like, yeah, hey, okay. It's great. I hope you guys have a great time. And
well,
we did.
Not to show you up, but
But
this
I'm gonna do
was...
it anyway.
yeah. This was like a brother's trip. That's with me and my brother. And so since we chose...
Obviously, it's not you and your mother, because it's a brother's trip, obviously.
All-Star Movies, which is far and away the best resort that is called All-Star Movies. But since we had like 4 days, I think, and my brother's just the biggest like Star Wars fan and stuff, so his whole like focus was on Star Wars Land and stuff. So I did kind of have to break away for some other park time and food and wine and stuff like that. But
yeah, so when I had met up with you in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you were there probably like 3 hours already, and
yeah,
in that 3 hour time period, you didn't even go on the Millennium Falcon. Like you didn't do anything. You just walked around.
Not.
Yeah.
He is a big action figure guy. Of course, they have exclusive sets and stuff there. Well, of course, they have 3 different shops. They can't just all have them in the same place. And so we took and walked around. So we got those first, and then we took and walked around and stuff, and it just kind of took it all in and looked at everything. So we stopped in all of the stores and stuff like that, and as we stopped at Ronto's Raptors or Ronto's Roasters or whatever it is there, and ate some lunch, which was extremely good, actually. This was like, I was shocked that essentially, like a hot dog with some slop would be that good, but it was. This was almost like a sausage instead of a hot dog, and the slop was really good on top and spicy. It was good.
So when I finally met up with you, I was texting with you to find out where you were, and we ended up meeting over at the X-Wing. Now this is kind of funny. And
Kinda.
Well, come on, it's funny.
It's funny.
And I'm over there. I get a picture with Connor and I, and you are over in the corner, and your brother's taking pictures. So I go up to the cast members and get my picture taken, a holocron, whatever they say. And she's like, yeah, sure. She's like, I just need to wait for this gentleman to move out of the way to get the picture with you. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I go, sir, can you please move out of the way for the picture? And I knew it was your brother.
He didn't know who you were.
He didn't know who I was, and he was not happy. But he didn't yell or scream at me. He stormed off, and you're like, it's Sean, but it's Sean.
Well, and to set the scene, since we had been awake since probably 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, actually. I picked him up at 3 in the morning. We were at the airport at 5. Our flight was like at 7. As we got there at 9:30, and we had probably met up with you at like 3 or 4 o'clock
like
that
4
night.
4 o'clock, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it had been a really long day.
Right.
To that point, he's got some issues just with his back, and your plane ride did not help that either. So
Right.
he was in some pain, and it was a long day, and yeah, you just hit him at the wrong moment, man.
It's still funny. So
Yeah.
after that, and your brother calmed me down a little bit, we ended up going on the Millennium Falcon. So
Yes.
that was the first time I've been on there. It's the second, like I said, the second time I've been in Galaxy's Edge. But walking through the queue was cool. And I know your brother was pointing out some hidden things that I would never have even known, because while I love Star Wars, your brother's on a whole different level.
Yes, he
And,
is.
Yeah, he is. And it was cool seeing like the little things here and there. and then going up top and getting the view from the top and seeing the Millennium Falcon from up higher, man, that was really impressive. That was like, you have that view when you first see the Falcon for the first time, where you said your brother probably cried his eyes out, but on top of there is an awesome view as well.
Yeah, the detail that they do for that was just unreal. I mean, it's when you think the back half of the Star Tours AT-AT isn't even done. I mean, it's just
right.
It's just a bunch of metal, like skeleton. To see the detail that they put into these fighters, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then, you know, you work your way through and you get further in there, and you get to see the Hondo animatronic as the pre-show. That is as impressive as heck. Yeah,
it's pretty much, if you didn't actually know that it's an animatronic, like for the first 30 seconds, you actually think that it's a real person standing out there.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's so weird. Like you're so hurried like into there, and then you're hurried out of there as well. The show, I don't know, like 3 minutes long, maybe 4 minutes long.
It's about that, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you get to see the Falcon in the back that's landing, and Hondo talking, and that's pretty impressive seeing that. And then from there you work your way through, and what was it? Was that when you get to your station to go on the Falcon? Is that what it was?
Yeah. It's when you get your engineer card and they move it to the Falcon.
Yeah, so there was 2 people that had a cut in front of us, and Connor and I were up front, and you and your brother were in the back, and this couple just happened to cut through, and they ended up getting to be the pilots, which was a huge bummer.
Yeah.
But the worst part for me was getting in there and seeing the holo table. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a name for it.
Yeah, I forget the name for it. But I would
Jarek or something.
Yeah. And like you're inside the Falcon at this point, and it's really disappointing because there were people just sitting at the table, and we wanted to get our pictures taken there. I was so disappointed, but there was just a family just sitting there, not realizing what was happening, because they were just on that ride just to be on that ride.
And plus, you do feel extremely rushed.
You do.
Like you saw the people who was at press events and all of this stuff. Stop and pose for pictures,
right,
like, inside the cockpit and stuff. That does not happen.
No.
I tried to, and like the cast member, like, he basically threw me out of there. He was like, "Oh no, sir, we have to move. We have to move." And I'm like, "I just want a picture." And he's like, "No." I'm like, so that's a real frustrating part.
Yeah, but even when they're having you sit in the cockpit, it's like, hurry up, sit down, buckle up, and they leave. It's like, right. Whoa, man. It's like, holy cow, it happens so fast.
Yeah, there is no, like Star Tours does, where there's like a little like show thing, and
right.
C-3PO talks to you and blah, blah, blah. It's basically just you sit
right
and go.
Yeah, so once you're in there, you know, the Millennium Falcon takes off, and you have the pilots. I was a gunner, and you were an engineer. And you're supposed to hit the buttons to shoot at things. And if you focus on trying to press your buttons, and you know, you and I were talking about that, you're not going to see what's happening on the screen. So I just had my hand over there pressing the buttons at the corner of my eye. I can see when it lights up, and I would hit the button. And overall, I mean, it's the best part. I mean, it's really cool sitting in the Falcon. Flying through and blowing things up, hitting things. I think if you're the pilot, I think it's a completely different experience, a better experience. I think sitting back there kind of ruins the whole thing. Overall, I mean, sitting in the Falcon's great, but the rest of it, I'd much rather do Star Tours, to be honest with you. And with them having new scenes coming in for the new movie, I'd still like that more, because it's gonna have more rewritability, as opposed to the Falcon. It's like, I don't think I would need to do it every single trip. Even Star Tours, I don't necessarily feel I need to do it every trip, but it's when you're adding new scenes onto Star Tours, I think that enhances the rewritability versus the Millennium Falcon.
Since we did actually write it twice. We got Engineer again, which sucked, but the second time was a totally different experience than the first ride. I think that the first ride through, you don't really know what to expect, what to focus on, what to kind of do. The second time, our pilots were way worse. I mean, they were terrible, but it made it a more fun ride.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense. And two, my brother, he didn't even press buttons.
Right.
The second time, he just like sat there and just experienced being in the Falcon, and he absolutely loved it. So I think it takes a couple times to fully appreciate it, which I know is not ideal because they took and they overhype everything there. But I mean, so if you just have like one chance to ride it, I think it's one that you need to experience a couple times to fully appreciate it.
See, now I think if they made this into Star Tours and like you were flying through those scenes of Star Tours, this attraction would be A1A, top notch.
Right.
So
yeah, it's kind of, I think like for me, just being Engineer, like it bummed me out before like I even stepped into the cockpit.
Oh no, I could definitely see it. I think if you were a pilot, it would be a completely different story, like I said before.
Right. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So from there, I know we walked into one of the shops that sold all the expensive things. I forgot what the shop was called.
Doc Ockers.
Yeah.
Trading Post or whatever.
That was incredible. I was amazed by that. I didn't go into that the first time I was in there, but it was so cool walking through there. And then we went to our reservations at the Cantina, and the Cantina, I think, is, as of the way it is right now, I think it's the jewel of Star Wars Land for me. I think that's what I enjoyed the most when I was there, because that probably to me felt the most Star Wars out of anything. Besides seeing the Falcon, because I got the Star Wars vibe in there. You had some of the Star Wars music playing in there. You had Rex playing the music. You got that feeling in there, and with some of the drinks that were, especially like Connor had, they were like, you had the dry ice in there, so they were smoking. That was pretty cool seeing that. It's a fun atmosphere. I know you had a 2-drink maximum, and it wasn't cheap. I ordered 2 drinks, and Connor ordered 2 non-alcoholic drinks, and it came to $50 just for that. So it's not cheap at all by any means, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I think that for me, it was small of a space. It felt really like crowded.
It did.
I couldn't even like stand at the bar. It's like I had to like turn sideways almost. Now I do understand it's like I take up a lot of room. But
I don't even think it's that, because even with Connor, I didn't even have room, so I was standing back. I was standing behind Connor. So I don't even think that is. I think it's just tight, and they're trying to cram as many people in there as they can. They could have doubled the size, and they probably would just have enough space for it, because it is cramped. And like when I tried to work my way up to see Rex, I had to squeeze through there. It's like going to a bar, a hopping bar on a Friday or Saturday night. It's packed.
Yeah, and I mean the cast members are great. They do some stuff in there. I don't want to spoil it for people, but
that was fun.
But it's fun. I did get a nub drink. It's in a Tiki kind of a Steiny mug, which is really cool. It was expensive, but I didn't just really buy like a ton of souvenirs from there. So that was my one big like take home souvenir, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I love it.
Next, we went over to Docking Bay 7, and we ate there. I really liked the food there, but once again, like it's a little small in there. I was really surprised how small it was. I mean, because you're thinking like the size of Backlot Express or the size of the ABC Commissary too. It's really small, and I was surprised.
I was expecting more of like a Satuli canteen
Yeah.
kind of a size. It was pretty small. I mean, since we did get like a table and walked just right up to it and ordered, I mean, it wasn't busy at all, but if it is packed, that'll fill up quick.
Yep. Next, I say goodbye to you, but I know the next day that you and your brother did build a lightsaber. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, it started off a little rocky. So we had the reservation. We had met my cousin at the Magic Kingdom earlier. We did a few things, and then we assumed that we would have plenty of time to get there. She went and drove us there. We were like right against the time. I stopped at bag check, and she was very thorough with our bag. We essentially had to sprint to Galaxy's Edge, which is not fun. But since we got there, the experience itself is well done. They take you into this shop, basically a hidden shop, so the First Order, they don't find you there, and they kind of explain the history of the Jedi and kind of what the saber means to the Jedi and whatnot. You do get stand there and build it. You do get addressed by a very famous Star Wars character. It's his voice, and it kind of encompasses you. And then at the same time, kind of goes dark, and everybody's saber is going to light up, and everybody raises them up. It's a really cool experience. I didn't actually pay for one because, one, it's expensive, and two, I don't really have any place at home to put it or hang it, but it is extremely well made. It's metal. It's not just like a cheapo plastic. I think the experience itself is worth it. Like I said, it's expensive. It's a hassle to get the thing home, but I did get chills standing there seeing it happen and stuff. So it's a really cool addition. It's not just a Build-A-Droid. It's a true experience, which was really, really neat to see.
Now, it's something I probably would never pay for because I'll buy the lightsaber and probably never use it again. It'll be hanging up there.
Exactly.
But I would like to experience it. So if anybody wants to take me along, I'm willing to be your number two. So, and the other major thing that happened on your trip was you get to ride the Skyliner. Tell us about that experience.
I did. It was opening day. Skyliner. We took it from studios to International Gateway. We stopped at Ample Hills for some ice cream. But it's really neat. Since we had a pretty long line, it does move. This is rather fast. The cars, they don't stop. That's which I think is kind of a curse as well as a blessing. They do fit 10 people. It says we had 6. Extremely roomy. This was comfortable. The breeze was hit and miss. We made a turn. The breeze just completely stopped. I don't know if it was because of how the car was facing and with the wind or whatever, but those cars actually moved really fast. A lot faster than we were expecting them to go. It swayed a little bit, but it this wasn't that bad at all. It stopped for, I don't know, probably a minute and a half. There was a pause there. They do have a transfer station. It's at a Caribbean beach resort. So depending on if you were traveling to International Gateway or to Pop Century, you do transfer there. But it's a great addition. Thin out the bus crowds, I think. We absolutely loved it.
Cool. Matt, you want to add anything if you're still here?
The only thing after the incident they had, would that stop you at all from getting back on it, or do you think that was just kind of getting the kinks out of it and everything should be fine now?
Yeah, that it doesn't it's not gonna stop us again. I really think that was a one-time, just a kinks in a new system. It's just your monorail. It's had hundreds and hundreds of problems, and people still going back on it. So
right.
Of course you're not that far in the sky at the monorail, but it's still, if something happens, it's a fall.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, I think that was just a one-time thing that happened.
So that's all I got.
All right, that's it, Matt. You can take it away.
That's going to do it for this week. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium stroller and crib rental at kingdomstrollers.com. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Don't forget to check out our store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast, and you can leave a message for us on the Tiki Hotline, which is 256-4MY-TIKI, 256-469-8454. And if you enjoy the show, please take the time to rate us on iTunes.
And you can find me on Twitter at 1 Minute Disney Dream. That's 1MIN Disney Dream, mouseprovacations.com, and mousepros.com.
And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at DualWhipDaily.
I'm on Instagram at mholly579, and Twitter is MattGoesDopey. Special thanks to Steve for bringing us news this week. Make sure you check out Disney Diary for all your Disney news. Alan, buddy, it's all yours.
Thanks for listening this week. For Sean and Keith, I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by mousepros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And by kingdomstrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.